Is Miss Lea Salonga guilty of endangering her child?
Lea Salonga, suportado ang pagiging trans ng kanyang anak na si Nick Chin.
Broadway star Miss Lea Salonga was featured on the cover of US People magazine with her transmasculine child, Nick Chen, who is 18 years old. This is the first time it became public knowledge that her child was transgender. But is this a good thing? Should minors be allowed to transition? Nowadays, children are transitioning younger than ever because of medications that block puberty. Puberty occurs in girls between 8 and 12 years old and for boys between 9 and 14 years old. Personally, I would guide my child to wait it out until the age of maturity, which is around 18 years old, before he undergoes gender-affirming care such as surgery or hormone treatment. However, if before the age of maturity, I can already see that my child is suffering from having a body that does not feel aligned to his identity, I will reconsider supporting his gender assignment earlier. I know, here is the slipper. I know you want to spank me for that. So, if there is an option, if there is a solution, I will move mountains for my child. When I checked online whether these medications can cause death, the answer of Google was this.
She's got the chops, the charm, and the passport stamps to prove it. Meet Mrs. F, Charlotte Ferguson, University of the Philippines alum, diva by profession, and performer by destiny. With over 20 years on the mic, she serenaded Singapore, brought the house down in Qatar, vibed out in Malaysia, and wowed the crowd in Australia. She didn't just join YouTube Next Up, she slayed it, one of only 12 chosen from 408 creators. And when Lazada went looking for livestream stars, she took the crown. #1, period. And during the last Philippine presidential election, she made her voice count. By speaking up on social and political issues, she racked up millions of organic views, proving she's more than a performer. She's the quintessential influencer. Singer, storyteller, certified scene stealer. This is Mrs. F.
Mabuhay, my naughty children! It seems that 84% of you have not subscribed. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button or else... Mabuhay, my naughty children! This is Mrs. F, your sexy nagging mother, here to be cancelled in today's topic. I've already been cancelled because of my Snow White video. You boycotted the movie because you do not want to be called woke. You said the movie was woke. Disney is woke. So by definition, being woke is actually a positive thing. So if you're using it as an insult or to offend, you are using the word incorrectly. Get it right. And today I am back for more. So a cancellation on top of another cancellation is a negative plus another negative, which equals a positive. Very good. The math is mathing, so I am so excited for today. As always, we have our trusty to dispense some much needed when you get extremely naughty. But I only do it as your millennial loving mother, knocking some sense into you and not in the way our boomer mothers used to do it for stress relief. Triggered! Speaking of mothers, today's video will piggyback off the news where our country's pride, Broadway star Miss Lea Salonga, was featured on the cover of US People magazine with her transmasculine child, Nick Chen, who is 18 years old. As far as I know, this is the first time it became public knowledge that her child was transgender. So I think people were shocked. Do we still use shocked? Anyway, Miss Lea's headline on the magazine read, "A fierce ally to her trans child." So we all know she's supportive. But is this a good thing? Is Miss Lea Salonga guilty of endangering her child? And a celebrity of that status making such a big statement and taking a stand despite negative backlash is so impactful to the LGBTQIA+ community. It is so impactful that none of the other anchors here at PGMN wanted to touch this subject because they did not want to risk offending a national treasure like her with this topic. Thus, your woke mother was summoned. Today's video will talk about whether it is safe for minors to transition and should they be allowed to transition in the first place. We will save topics on pronouns, same-sex marriage for another day of cancellation because I just love having them days. So, should minors be allowed to transition? And in the first place, why are they starting so young? Nowadays, children are transitioning younger than ever because of medications that block puberty or puberty blockers. Puberty occurs in girls between 8 and 12 years old and for boys between 9 and 14 years old. This is the average, but some hit puberty earlier. That's why the youngest confirmed pregnancy in the world was from a 5-year-old. Sorry, that went dark fast, but it had to be mentioned to highlight how varied it is for when it occurs. So, according to the article I read, and I quote, doctors say the benefit of using puberty blockers is that they block hormone-induced biological changes such as vocal cord changes, the development of breast tissue, or changes in facial structure that are irreversible and can be especially distressing to children who are gender nonconforming or transgender. Puberty blockers are fully reversible. If the individual decides not to transition, the treatment can be stopped and puberty resumes normally. So a lot of the stress on the transgender community involves their inner identity not matching their outer appearance. And by starting them young, the puberty blockers will lessen this kind of negative impact, or worse, body dysmorphia, meaning the mental health condition where a person spends a lot of time worrying about flaws in their appearance. The uproar is about the safety of these medications on the children. And the uproar is also about whether or not we should allow children to decide these treatments. When I checked online whether these medications can cause death, the answer of Google was this. While gender-affirming hormone therapy can have potential side effects, studies suggest that the increased mortality risks are not primarily driven by the treatment itself. So, the treatments do not cause the death. They just increase risks. In the same manner that that chocolate cake you're eating right now, yes, that third slice, will not kill you literally, but it can kill you if it causes your diabetes. But having diabetes does not mean also that you will die from it. In the same manner that smoking increases the risk of illnesses that cause death, the cigarette will not kill you literally, unlike a gun. It might kill you slowly or softly, or it might not kill you at all. You increase the risks of your child when you allow them candy and ice cream and donuts and junk food. And by you, I mean we, because I am just as guilty. So when it comes to the safety of the medications, it does not directly cause death. It increases mortality risks. The second uproar is about whether children should be allowed to decide these treatments. So I did a quick Google search whether transitioning a minor had a high detransition rate, meaning what is the percentage of trans minors reverting back to their gender assignment at birth? How many percent regretted their decision to transition so young? I was shocked. AI said only 0.5 to 1% detransitioned, and another article who conducted a study said it was 2.5% of their study. Another article said that these numbers are not accurate due to a number of factors, and some studies are inconclusive, but these are the figures that you and I have access to. I was shocked at the number. I had thought more would be regretful because they did it when they were so young. They don't have full mental and reasoning capacity yet. What do children know about life? What did they know about sexuality when they are still eating their own boogers? But the numbers are saying something different. These numbers support that while there is no single gay gene, there is overwhelming evidence of biological basis for sexual orientation that is programmed into the brain before birth based on a mix of genetics and prenatal conditions, none of which the fetus chooses, meaning they were born that way. This is evidence-based science, and it is also based on my own personal experience. Some of my gay best friends said they just knew since they were little, and they were never attracted to the opposite sex ever. Like, ew, like they would rather eat their own boogers. So I am speculating that the numbers for the detransitioning are low despite them being minors because they were born that way and they were not in fact confused. They probably got confused when we started conditioning them. Oh, don't play with that Barbie because you're a boy. Oh, don't wear pants. Wear this dress instead. Now they are confused on why they are being forced to like something they just don't. They are children. They see the world in a simpler manner. I feel, therefore I am. And they knew no other way, despite the best efforts of the parents, to lead them away from a life full of judgment and isolation. Children are so vocal about what they want and what they don't want. They will scream it from the rooftops. If they want to eat their boogers, they will let you know. And the houses from 2 streets away will also know. Does it mean that you should allow them to eat their boogers? It depends. Does it look yummy? I'm kidding. So while children are not a reliable source of right or wrong behavior, they're able to give signs and early insights as they start moving and talking what their preferences are. You just have to be observant as a parent so you know what support they will need from you. Going back to the second issue, should children be allowed to make the decision to transition as a minor? Because there is that urgent decision to make in order to undergo anti-puberty medication before puberty hits, and that is very early on between 8 to 13 years old. Personally, I would guide my child to wait it out until the age of maturity, which is around 18 years old, before he undergoes gender-affirming care such as surgery or hormone treatment. I will encourage delaying gender reassignment until he is much older. But I will encourage him to live and act however he feels is his best life without the gender reassignment. I will encourage support and, just like Lea Salonga, publicly announce to the world where I stand, because knowing he has my support as a mother can greatly lift the burden of society's judgment. Because you're also judgmental. I would love for it to be like Lea's journey. Her son transitioned between 17 to 18 years old, which makes it the ideal scenario in my opinion. However, if before the age of maturity, I can already see that my child is suffering from having a body that does not feel aligned to his identity, if it is inhibiting his happiness, if I see him disappearing into himself, I will reconsider supporting his gender assignment earlier. I know. Here is the slipper. I know you want to spank me for that. What? If the behavior and the signs that point to the preference is consistent and in your face and raging, why prolong the agony? And tell me, is the alternative better? If I don't support the transition, watch my child be devoured by depression, anxiety, body dysmorphia, self-isolation, self-harm, and suicidal tendencies for years? And hear me out. Just because I will support my child's gender reassignment like Miss Lea Salonga doesn't mean I will take that lightly. I will encourage non-invasive techniques first, like name change, pronoun change, hair, clothes, makeup, wigs. And if there is still disassociation, then I will make sure there will be a team of psychologists, endocrinologists, pediatricians to ensure that medical decisions are made with the utmost care, taking into account the well-being, maturity, and my child's individual circumstance. I will get professional help for all of us, my child and me, most especially my husband who is not as woke as me, to help us navigate this in the safest way possible. Because if I don't help my child, he might do it himself and get botched. Life is too short to be miserable. I do not wish my child to be miserable. And I don't wish to live my life with a miserable child. A miserable and botched child. Que horror. I also do not wish for him to have the courage to look the way he wants to look so late in life, like Caitlyn Jenner, former Bruce Jenner, that he will only really live his life on the tail end of his lifespan, or force himself to a gender that is not authentic to himself, like marrying someone from the opposite sex, having kids with them, then cheating on them in the end with the same sex. It's worse because you drag other people along the misery of your unfulfilled gender identity. As parents, we teach them values, but we can't really teach preference. My family tried to teach me to eat sashimi, but I would rather eat my boogers than sashimi. You can't tell your child his favorite ice cream is strawberry when his favorite flavor is chocolate. Life is a gift, but life can be brutal. Sometimes life does not give us options. So, if there is an option, if there is a solution, I will move mountains for my child. Kudos to you, Miss Lea Salonga, for publicly taking a stand. You truly are a national treasure, and what you did will shape how society sees this very controversial topic. Mabuhay ka! And mabuhay also for all of my naughty children. See you in the comments section. Till next episode, this has been Mrs. F for PGMN. Sorry, na-emotional ako. Hoy ate, hindi to K-drama. Hirap pag child, pag-uusapan. Kaka-trigger. My makeup. Retouch, please. Wala pala. Ako pala yun. Looking for the perfect getaway? Solarena Resort in La Union is your ideal escape, where golden sands, crystal clear waters, and breathtaking sunsets await. Whether you're on a family vacation, a romantic retreat, or a fun trip with friends, Solarena offers something for everyone. Take a stroll along the beach with your loved ones, indulge in a local cuisine, or enjoy a quiet moment by the water. For the adventurous, there's plenty to explore: surfing, beach volleyball, and more. For those seeking relaxation, unwind by the pool, soak up the sun, or enjoy a luxurious day at the spa. With top-notch service, comfortable accommodations, and a welcoming atmosphere, Solarena Resort makes it easy to disconnect from the daily grind and reconnect with the people who matter most. Whatever your idea of the perfect escape is, Solarena is ready to make it happen.